A new addition to Tableau 2020.1 is the buffer function for spatial analysis. Essentially, this allows you to draw a radius around a particular spatial point and then visualize that in Tableau. In order to do that, what I've actually done is I've generated some mock data from Mockery with essentially the name of car companies, and I've got a latitude and longitude for the corresponding address. And so if I head on over to Tableau and I open up my text file, I'll connect to that sample file that I downloaded from Mockery, and you can see here that I get the name of the car company, the address, but critically I have a latitude and longitude available to me. Now what I can do is I can actually give these specific geographical roles. So you can see this has already got latitude. So let's go ahead and give this one a longitude as well, so that when we get into Tableau, we can just start working with it straight away. Let's open up the sheet, and you can see it's a very simple data source. It hasn't got many column names in there. One of the things we need before we can use the buffer function is we need a spatial object for it to work with. So I have to create a point. Latitude and longitude are good if you're trying to create a map of where something is, but it's not actually a spatial sort of data type in itself. It's just describing where something would be. So in order to do that, I use one of the new functions that Tableau added in 2019, make point, and all I need to do is drag the latitude in there and then drag the longitude. And then I can just call this car dealership and hit apply. So now that we have our car dealership, if I double click that, you'll see that Tableau maps those in the correct way. Now I want to remove that because what I'm actually more interested in is the buffer calculation. So let's create that here by creating a new calculated field, and I'll just zoom in so you can see what I'm typing. In order to invoke the function, you just need to type buffer, and you'll get this sort of field. And the key thing here is anytime you type any function in Tableau, it always gives you a hint as to what it's expecting next. So it's expecting a geometry next. So the geometry is this spatial point that we've created. In other cases, it might be a line, it might be a polygon, whatever it is, you can add that here into Tableau. The next thing is the number. So this is essentially the radius of the particular point we're trying to, draw. So I'll do 20 kilometers, and I'll also describe the units as kilometers. You can see here that in the example, Tableau uses kilometers, but you can of course use other units if that works a little better for you. Okay, so then what we'll do is we'll just call this a buffer calculation, like so. If I hit apply, you'll see that my buffer calculation appears here on the left-hand side. And then if we double click that, you'll now see that I get a circle that represents the total sort of radius around the particular point that I was talking about. So if we zoom into particular areas of the map and just pane this further down, you can actually start to do some analysis as to where specific radiuses overlap. So here, for example, if I look at these three dealerships, if I just bring in the company name onto color, you can more clearly see that these three companies here overlap. And if I play around with the opacity, I can actually get that to work in a nice way. So that's a very, very simple example of how to use the buffer function in Tableau. If you've enjoyed this video, click the like button and subscribe to the channel. If not, drop me a comment below and let me know what kind of content you'd like to see in the future.